Eleanor, we have a world problem here. We have national solutions. We know that sometimes there's a conflict between the national solutions. So what do we do with such a conflict, and how do we avoid the next one?
Thank you. This is an international problem. There's a great irony here. It is truly international, and the enforcement and the policy decisions are all national or jurisdictional, and jurisdictions all over the world are spending billions, billions of euros, dollars, whatever, to reinvent the wheel to decide the same issues. So I thought that it would be a good idea to try for lessons for the future, because we are where we are right now, and where we are right now looks like, I mean, it's certainly true. The DNA has to be adopted. It has to be implemented. But what it looks like right now is that we have intensive regulatory moves in the EU, much less intensive, but regulatory moves in the UK, and more common law case by case in many other jurisdictions. The regulatory move in the EU, the DMA is 72 pages of very intense regulation. If we were to unwind or do a thought experiment and say, if we could actually see this coming, or next time something like this will come, what would we do? Is there a way to get a global picture and to think what is good for the world in regulating and controlling the power of, and here I'm going to say big tech, and here I'm going to use a term from the CMA in the UK, strategic market status. There are certain things we know now. We actually know a huge amount now. I think we know. There certainly can be more evidence, but let me say this, assuming this is the paradigm we're thinking of for the future, we know there are these handful of new firms, relatively new, with extreme power. They're global, they're ruling the world, and then they play off jurisdictions against each other. And you said before, the cartel of enforcers, maybe yes, maybe that's how to get there. But shouldn't there be an equal power against the GAFA? And if that is so, could we separate out by a conversation, maybe such as Bill and Frederick have mentioned, and I know there are conversations in the OECD, but a conversation among the players who are seeking to take control of the problems and make a list, which is the top of the iceberg, and say, these companies do have strategic market status. We shouldn't have to litigate every day in every jurisdiction whether they do. These companies have been known to do certain practices that, as a hypothesis, we think they should not do, such as, if their gatekeepers sabotage on their platform, cutting off at the knees any rival on the platform that's getting too good. Number two, I would take the whole list that Herb put out as being, danger, either activities dangerous to competition, or if you remove them, very helpful to competition. And interoperability, you could do it this way without getting to remedy. If the gatekeepers are purposely obstructing the interoperability. And number three, another taking from Herb, the dominant platforms having programs to buy up all of their emerging competitors. Start at the top of the iceberg, see if there is a loose consensus in the world. Include in that group of consensus, incidentally, more than EU, UK, Germany, US, Australia, South Africa, and what about China? Try. And if that could be developed and everybody goes home and says, I want to do this in my jurisdiction, and the GAFA know that this is a global rules, notional but global rules, that might be the way to at least start a concept from above, a global welfare idea to try to rein in big tech.